Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Frank and Candid. I am Tony Nass, as per usual, in the seat. We go to the news. Go to Barbados. Residents in Barbados have been urged to stay indoors after volcanic ash blanketed the island, turning day into night. The warning comes after the Caribbean island of St. Vincent was rocked by a string of eruptions from the La Sofria, which spewed clouds of ash miles into the air and forced thousands to flee for safety. The eruption led to the UE Seismic Research Center warning that ashfall may also be experienced in Barbados and St. Lucia. Residents in Barbados took to social media after the island was blanketed with ash. One Barbadian local described the scene as haunting as daylight was blocked out by the volcanic debris. And let's go to what's going on in Haiti. Poor Haiti. Haiti has had 8 prime ministers in just the past 6 years, and now another one. Joseph Joutha has just resigned amid one of the Caribbean country's most catastrophic economic and public security freefalls. Joutha had tried to quit once before, but President Maurice rejected his resignation. This time, Maurice accepted it, and so on Wednesday, Joutha exited through the revolving door of Haiti's prime ministership, which is responsible for administering the government. Joutha had held a post for only 13 months. Under Joutha, brief tenure, Haiti's economy has imploded, and almost half the population faces hunger. Violent crime is at crisis levels, including a terrifying ransom kidnapping wave. This week, a gang attacked an orphanage outside Port-au-Prince, killing a guard and sexually assaulting children. That's the situation in Haiti. Seems like there's no easing up for the people of Haiti, and that is where I want to begin my conversation this morning. Why is Haiti as Haiti is today? Why is Haiti so poor? The question itself is quite depressing. The country, pre-independence, was doing so well economically and was the envy of other countries around the world. This is the country that started the end of slavery, and that is a powerful thing. Our brothers and sisters of Haiti are people with fantastic spirits and work ethics. Yes, Haiti is the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere, but its culture and history are undeniably rich. Racism and cultural identity has had an impact on Haiti's interaction with other countries. Haitians are very proud of their heritage, as they should be. But when you have a country that is constantly derided and accused of making a pact with the devil, some of us even join with others in demonizing their religion. Of course, it would make it hard to get the aid and the investment that the country needs. You may be familiar with the title, the Jewel of the Antilles. Haiti was on top in terms of economic boom. It stood as the wealthiest and most productive colony in the world over. The riches Haiti had before independence made the nation the envy of other countries. How did a country that was once called the Jewel of the Antilles become the poorest in the Caribbean? During the 1750s, Haiti at times contributed up to 50% to the French's gross national product, which shows how rich and economically stable Haiti was. So, again, the question is, why is Haiti so poor? There are numerous factors responsible for impoverishing Haiti. Let us examine some of those factors. Of course, natural disasters and corruption are significant contributions. The period of Haiti's dominance are gone. The region has experienced a series of natural disasters attributed to deforestation and poor management of the country's resources. Let's talk about Mother Nature. Haiti has been struck by Mother Nature over and over again. These natural disasters have caused severe damage to the country, economically and otherwise. The natural disaster is all attributed to deforestation and poor management of the nation's resources, pre- and post-independence. In 2010, Haiti was hit by a 7.0 magnitude earthquake that claimed over 3,000 lives and rendered thousands of people homeless and helpless. 2 years after, in 2012, the country experienced another hurricane. Then, in 2016, Haiti experienced yet another hurricane, Hurricane Matthew, one of the strongest hurricanes the country has had in years. But that's Mother Nature. What about massive corruption in the land? Corruption is like a deadly virus that has plagued quite a few black nations the world over. It is among the primary factors that crippled Haiti's economy and made the island nation more miserable economically. The elites were and still today are like vipers, keeping the wealth of the nation to themselves. Many developed countries and reputable bodies have tried to help the country in different forms. But unfortunately, the aid meant to alleviate the suffering of the people doesn't get to the masses. So yes, one reason Haiti has remained a poor country is the massive corruption going on in the nation. Until this virus called corruption is wiped out, it will be difficult for the country to realize its true potential. And yes, there is corruption. And let's not fool ourselves. But then there is France. The French connection, if you will. French rule has had a significant hand in this. After the revolution, which gave Haiti its independence, the French and their European allies teamed up to force Haiti to pay indemnities to the slave owners, which the government had to accept. Let us examine how ridiculous this would be to any reasonable person. We are here fighting in this country for reparations from our enslavers, and rightly so. But there is the French. Here is the French, who enslaved the Haitian people for centuries. Those oppressed people then rose up against that enslavement. The oppressors lost. The oppressed won. They drove them out of their country, gained their independence, set up their government. Then the former enslavers declares that you, the oppressed, must pay them for their losses. Haitians naturally resist. The French then bring pressure to bear on Haiti to make those payments to the former slave owners, under threat that the failure to pay means their allies, the United States, Europe, would not recognize Haiti. The Haitian government was bent on gaining recognition, so they had to pay. They had no choice. Consequently, Haiti focused on clearing the debt, which lasted for decades, instead of focusing on the growing their economy. The next time you think of demonizing the Haitian people and their religion and culture, ask yourself whether or not the French who enslaved them were, while professing Christianity, whether or not they were the saints or were they the true demons. It must be difficult for Haitians to compare their past and present economic conditions. It must hurt dealing with poverty. Life becomes unbearable and the future might look oblique. But everything that has a beginning has an ending. So there is hope for Haitians. It is my belief that the country will one day reclaim its former glory and become the envy of other countries. There is hope for Haiti if the government and people just get it right. It will only take time and some drastic decisions. Haiti may yet realize its true potentials. But let's be clear, there are lots of people who contributed to where Haiti is today. We'll be back.
Haiti, I'm sorry.
All right. So that's my take this morning. I just saw that every time we turn around, there is something about Haiti that's sinking them deeper and deeper. Just can't get out of a hole. But it is clear that there's a lot of people and a lot of circumstances responsible for what it is today in Haiti. I don't know, some of us want to ignore it. Some of us would rather believe that Haiti's trouble comes out of their culture, comes out of the religion and their practices. But to be frank, and to emphasize, to be candid, that's nonsense to me. People must take responsibility for what has happened to the people of Haiti. Some of it lies on their own people and the corruption which many of their leaders bring. But it is a fact that the colonizers played a big part in where Haiti is today. We will see. 465-2555 is the phone number here locally. The North American number 718-577-2916 if you have comments or even disagree with what I just said. Let's go straight to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Masai Garvey Queen and Sing. God bless you, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
We're all doing well. What about you?
Good, brother, good man, and the clan is good, brother.
All right, good.
Now, you know, beloved, your opening statement, 99.9, I agree with. But let me just make a slight correction. Voodoo is not a religion, beloved brother. That is one of our African spiritual way of life. And ain't nothing wrong with voodoo. Voodoo been around for centuries, thousands of years. So I know what people who talk all kind of foolishness, out of ignorance. Ain't nothing wrong with voodoo. But beloved, let me say too, you rightly said that, the main genesis that got Haiti in what it is today, beloved, is that money that Haiti had to pay to them wicked French enslavers, beloved. And the thing that they put, their allies, their European allies, along with United States, beloved, the pressure that they put on Haiti, beloved. And don't forget, you didn't mention this, beloved, but you know that United States invaded Haiti several times, beloved. All of that, beloved. And Haiti help Simon Bolivar, beloved. And Haiti helped any one of our people during them time. Haiti became a republic. The 1800s, only 1800s. You could have gone to Haiti. When you reach Haiti, you're a free person, a free African, beloved. You know, a free African. And they put the pressure on Haiti. That's one of the reasons they get rid of Father Bertram Aristide, because he was pressing the French, those evil French. All that money that Haiti paid, he was demanding, listen, we need that money back, if not all, some of it. And that's why the orchestration. And let me move to Papa Doc Duvalier, beloved. He started out okay, but then he oppressed his own people, just like Bradshaw Bird and all of those others in the Caribbean who fought for their people and then oppressed their own people. And then you come up with classism that he got in Haiti, light skin and this and that, and then the blacker skin African people is always at the bottom, beloved. And a lot of corruption too. What is the genesis we got to focus on, beloved? And now come up to modern times. They're going to finish now. CARICOM and all those countries in CARICOM, most of them, beloved, look how they treat our brothers and sisters in Haiti. They come to St. Nevis and other countries in CARICOM, hard time. And the little place that they call, which is the whole landmass, that part, Dominican Republic, one of the most racist thing in the Caribbean, the most racist regime in the Caribbean, beloved. If I was the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, if they continue to dish out that kind of inhuman treatment to our brothers and sisters in Haiti, no one from the Dominican Republic, unless they are citizens of St. Kitts Nevis, and even the thing that they got in the Constitution, I will try to remove that. But I know what people do, went to the Dominican Republic, but that's for another time. But the racist regime that they continue to have in the Dominican Republic, man, it got to go. But the corruption must stop, and we must treat Haiti. They are our African sisters and brothers, and we must stop treat them like they are less than human. Brother, continue to listen, keep up the great works Pan-Africanism and peace. Well, now, my beloved brother.
All right, thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning, welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yes, good morning, Mr. My friend here from the village.
Nice.
But you have a good timely program, right? I didn't get your opening statement completely, but I get practically the end. But I went to school in the 50s, right? And they taught us in the 50s a petition from DFB was responsible for the independence of Haiti. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
You heard of that?
Yeah, I heard of that.
Right. You read of it? Henry Christophe was his name? I think so.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I did hear of that, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, but the point I'm making, listen, this program here is a very good program, and I trust and hope the students of history are listening, because as the brother before me said, the United States and Europe, when I say Europe, the entire Europe is who have Haiti where they are today. And the history tells us when those Haitians fought for their independence from France, as you said in your last paragraph there, that for them to get recognition, they had to pay back France this amount of money. But brother, it is more than that, Even the very dogs on the street, the Haitian had to pay France for. You read that in history too?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah,
you read that in history too?
Yes, go ahead, yes. Keep going. You're doing good.
So then, what I am saying, so we do not have to bombast the Haitians them, because the European or the the Caucasian them are one who got Haiti as they are, and then they are poor. Could you imagine the very dogs they had to pay the French government for? And people talk about those European people were good people, and the Americans them supported them, the Spanish, the Italians, the Portuguese, all them side with them to kill little Haiti. And when they invaded Haiti, and they, like us here in St. Kitts and Nevis and the other parts of the Caribbean, they took our wealth and carried them to Europe and have us in poverty. Student of history, please read and listen to what Mr. Nurse is saying. Mr. Nurse is talking fact. And then these people, these Europeans, there are a lot to be said. But one thing I want to get across to the students, them, even the dogs, the Haitians still have to pay. But Mr. Nurse, let me ask you a question. They didn't finish paying off the money yet?
I don't think they'll ever finish paying it off.
So you're strengthening my point then?
Yeah.
So then students of history, the citizens of Haiti, would have to pay for the dogs that they know nothing about and up to now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Nyers, you have a good day.
Yes.
A good program, man.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Henry Christophe was said to be born in St. Kitts. Was a fighter freedom fighter in Haiti. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Brother Tony.
Yes, sir.
Brother Tony, well, I am here with my radio, searching the whole of West Warm from buckles all around, looking for a bull, a black bull. Understand? I'm so tired because I work hard on my animals them. And I do not think that nobody supposed to go and take things like that. I don't say if somebody got with it, but people usually do those things, especially in the kind of situation right now. And I work hard on my thing, and people still work hard. Some people say that, no, why don't get rid of them? You see that you can't go with them and all these things. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I still seeking and looking to see if I find my animal.
Okay.
Now, Brother Tony, talking about Haiti, and I'm glad you read out and educate the nation, because I myself educate about Haiti when I was going to school with Henry Christophe and Toussaint Louverture when they captured him, and all these things. And you have to know that you read out, and that is reality that you read in there. That is not no fake news. Like, a friend of mine called me from overseas and called me and asked me what's going on in Sinkit. I said, nothing going on in Sinkit. Sinkit's all right. We controlling the COVID and all kind of things. And I hear Pam and Timothy break up. I said, Pam and Timothy break up with what? I said, no, this is not Pam and Timothy. Is Timothy a PLP, you know? And Pam is Pam, the People's Action Movement, and the CCM. You understand? And each of them come together and join the election 2015 together. And there is the government as a collegiate government, a unity government. You understand? So I don't know what breaking up you're talking about, because our father can't hold the government together. The government here down here functioning good and working hard for the people of the Federation of Sinkit need it. So I don't know the fake news and the propaganda where it from. She said, a friend of mine, a lady friend of mine, and so Brother Tony, you see me? That's why I don't come on. And anybody, right, spread any fake news from my country, is the right to call in and say what they want to say. But it's my right to come and challenge them and let the people in the diaspora not like that goes up. Because this is my country. And when you, because of politics, I hear like the government, I hear like the Prime Minister, and you're going to bring down the fake news and say all kind of negative things about the government and the country, well, that is the time I will take on anybody who in the Federation and trying to bring down the country. I even bring down the government because of the political bitterness, because of what they ain't get. You understand? This is my right. That is the right to talk, and it's my right to talk. Brother Tony, you have a wonderful day. God bless the Federation. I've seen it and Nevis, Brother Nabo. Good morning, and wish Brother Culture all the best. I was there by him yesterday. He coming around slowly and surely. Brother Tony, the God bless you and keep you.
Okay, fine. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Good morning, Mr. Nayas.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
I am well.
I like the opening statement you made this morning about Haiti, which of course is a concern, not just for Haitians, but the whole wider Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
However, is there anything I can call and speak about as a concern, or I have to debate on that?
What concern you have? Is there something pressing you?
I beg your pardon?
Is there something pressing you that you need to?
Yeah, there is something I have been willing to call and speak about since Monday, but I didn't have a chance Monday, Tuesday, and either yesterday. But of course, if it isn't anything that I can allow to speak about other than what have been debated and discussed this morning, I will just hang up and allow anyone else to call, hoping I can do that.
Okay. How about call us back tomorrow?
I certainly will. You take care.
Open Friday.
Respect, sir. You
sure.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for that.
Right, thank you.
All right. Let's go back to the phone. Say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yes, my brother. Just give me 10 seconds. Beloved brother, that's absolutely right. And when Henry Christophe was born in what is now Deep Bay, beloved. And let me say a blessed morning to my beloved brother Culture. Hope you all get speedy recovery, my beloved brother. And Mr. Politics, I hope you find your animal, man. Brother, that's all I have to say. And brother, we must keep up the fight, man. We must keep up the fight No retreat, no surrender. Pan-Africanism, beloved. But thanks again for hearing me, beloved.
Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yeah, you me boy.
Yes.
I said I'm going to call you yesterday. I wish you happy anniversary.
I thank you anyway. Thank you.
You know, speaking, right?
I'm not sure yet. keep talking.
When you partner, when you should come, when you come live.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, now I got you.
Yeah. What topic is all about Haiti?
Talking about Haiti.
Huh?
Yes, about Haiti.
Okay. Listen. Haiti was once the richest country. Right?
Yeah.
And after you start to believe in obey, God put a curse on them. The Bible tell you there's necromancy, don't believe in it. You understand? And a lot of Christians have got church with the Bible and use the Bible to do that. And I tell you, one this time, thank it can come up like Haiti. Because you know why? We got things, we got lots of good in thank it. Right?
Okay.
You may not agree with me. But I'm telling you, mark my words, one of these good days, we're going to come up like Haiti. We got fertile land, yes. But when we plant, they won't go back nothing. Because we is too selfish with each other. You understand? And God no like that.
Okay.
God like a cheerful giver.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I'm sitting here, I'm listening, I'm wondering if God liked the fact that the French enslaved and oppressed the people. I wonder if God liked that. Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning. Yes, sir.
I feel like your good captain of
Carl, I don't know what your location is, but you're breaking up there. Really would like to hear what you're saying, but you're breaking up.
Any better?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I was saying I like the opening.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was saying I like the opening.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering, Haiti cannot do anything about what the French did. But they certainly can do something about corruption.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because corruption, the thing about corruption, that it is not restricted to filters down in the society. Okay? And unless there is some kind of unifying effort, because that's part of the problem too. Okay, as they fight for political power at the sources of the country, it ends up that the poorer classes suffer most.
Mm-hmm.
So since that is what can be done about their particular situation, they have influence on what happens in their country, then I think that's a good way to start. The problem, I think, is that the West has no real reason to see a thriving Haiti.
Mm.
Okay? And so you don't expect them to be pushing for change to the system of government, to anti-corruption measures and that sort of thing. That have to come from inside. Okay? And I'm wondering too, one of the things that they can't do is change the language. Still, I mean, there's still essentially the colonial French language is still language, the main language down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice that a lot of the other colonies, with the exception, of course, of the English-speaking colonies, they have actually prospered after colonialism because they were able to access so much things with the language, specifically English.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so that might be a way, I mean, of getting rid of that heritage and starting afresh. Okay? Then I think they will have more access to the capital and the opportunities that the mainland offers. Okay?
That knowledge is a tall order, though, right?
Yeah.
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 But I hear you.
Just start. I mean, I know it's a radical step.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot to actually do that, but it can be done.
Okay.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for that. We going back to the phone. Say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was watching a news item yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
On one of the news channels. You know, at the bottom of the channel, they normally flash some headlines and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the headlines speaking about Sweden stopping the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, a man like you in your position, who might be able to get some information.
I will certainly look into that.
Yeah, that's something that you could look into, you know what I mean?
I will do so.
Because that is the vaccine that we are using around here, so it would be nice to know why. Hello?
Mm-hmm. Not a problem. Will do.
Okay then, thanks for that.
Okay. Okay. All right. We are, as you can tell, we are in a conversation about Haiti. Haiti has been in the news lately again, and it just seems that every time we turn around, they can't seem to dig themselves out of their situation they find themselves in since coming out of since independence. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nair.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Well, I had the opportunity this morning
Uh-huh.
to listen to another radio station.
Yeah.
And a crazy man was speaking, right?
Okay.
And he was so right in what he said. You understand me? So, I really want to know if he all that crazy are he walking in the head. Right? Now, these are the things what he said. When election time, we go to Nevis to form a government.
Mm-hmm.
But no region could be the leader for St. Kitts Nevis. And he's right. He's right about that. You know, because I think what they're doing is wrong too. But you still have to give this present government what we have here, now the unity government, a lot of credit. Because every one of these people are in high position. Before, they never got them kind of position before. You understand me? So, you still got to give this government, this present government, a lot of credit under the Dr. Harris, that to see that these people from Nevis, all of them is in big position. You understand me? But what the crazy man was trying to say, they go over there and they're trying to things. Well, I will repeat myself again. Let me touch upon Haiti.
Uh-huh.
Now you know what goes on in Haiti. You don't need a Bible to tell you that. Now the United States, they push a lot of money sometime in Haiti, and it fall in the wrong hands.
Oh, yeah.
And now in the Haiti, the biggest thing in the United States is baseball. and they make the baseball them in Haiti for 20 cents and sell them in the United States for $25. So you ain't expect the people them gonna step poor? Eh? And when they do get some money, the money fall in the wrong hands. You know, certain parts in Haiti you go, they pay the cruise ship and then they come in. You can't believe you in Haiti. But another half an hour down the road, you can't believe where you just come from. You know, so that is how they keep down the people. But we have to, you know, because we is a part, Haiti is a part of CARICOM. So they need to try and straighten out things for Haiti. So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And that's an important point there, because many developed countries and reputable organizations have tried to help the country in some way, but unfortunately the aid that is sent to alleviate the suffering end up in the hands of a few people and not the masses. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Greet in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Most High Creator of this universe and all that therein. How are you and your family, my brother?
We are doing well.
What is your topic for this morning?
We're talking about the situation in Haiti and why Haiti continues to remain poor.
Okay, I will continue to listen.
Sure.
Without Jesus Christ, all Pan-Africanism will perish.
Okay. Thank you for listening. All right. Okay. What we'll do now is we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll continue our discussion on the situation and the difficulties that our brothers and sisters face in Haiti for so long.
As part of its robust national vaccination education,
it's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll out, yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us than your mommy to daddy to roll out.
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
I will take the vaccine because building defenses against COVID-19 is a team effort, and we are all a key part of that defense.
I definitely will be taking the vaccine when it's my turn.
I will be taking the vaccine as it is an important tool in the fight against the pandemic.
It is important for me to vaccinate to ensure that if I do become infected with the disease, it can prevent hospitalization. In addition, it also helps with herd immunity.
I will take the vaccine to protect myself, my loved ones, my clients, my co-workers, my community.
Conversation on Haiti and the situation there, what they go through over the years. You know, I have to say though, I've heard some comments earlier, some calls that are in about Haiti and why this is so. You know, and this has been going on for some time. People keep saying these things, you know, but God has been good to many of us around the globe, you know, and it's not because we are people who deserve the goodness of God, but it's just because God is a good God, and God, you know, He will look after people. But what people are trying to tell me is that somehow we and many of the world's countries are faithful and good, and so God has, you know, done all these great things for us. And Haiti is just so wicked that God has done what it has done to Haiti. I can't buy that kind of argument, but it's your opinion. So let's go back to the phones. Good morning, welcome.
Tony.
Yes, sir.
Megan, when we miseducated and do alone and try to know better, that is how that we can end up and always try to listen to propaganda and do that real thing and research thing for ourselves. Now, but I turn the question to you. Do Haiti is a democratic country?
Well, we can't really say that right now, but that's a fault. That's the leadership and the people.
Because Tony, Haiti will never be no better. Called to Brother Rock until that they got the democratic right to go out there and vote for government of the choice and get people of a Haitian born, Haitian background, black people, real people, to be the leaders in Haiti. I know to understand these some of these people who in Haiti and who, you know, the executive up there, is people from Haiti. You know, the color skin people is them on the top. And what contribution come to Brother Rock? What contribution going there from America and what other countries going there from? They don't reach the people then. So sometimes it don't bother. When you hate in a situation to send nothing. Because it comes up when you send the things and the things then go to the rich people and they do as they like with them. And they give who they don't give who could afford. I mean who can't afford, they give who could afford. And this is the situation in Haiti. I believe that if the country, the government of Haiti don't go in the black man's hands and look over the fears of the people of Haiti, it will never be no better. Haiti will just stay until menu exists out of this world. Okay then, Brother Tony. So good morning.
Well, Haiti has had their own people in power too. It's just that they're corrupt. And once they're corrupt, I mean, that's what's going to happen. So, you know, whatever comes into their hands, the only people getting it are the people who have become their friends, the elite, and they no longer look out for their own people. So, yes, corruption is a problem. One of the problems. It's a big problem, but Haiti's problem go deep, and we cannot ignore the fact that they came through some rough times, and the colonizers were part of that and still is a part of oppressing them, even though they're said to be out of slavery. They're still feeling the oppressed effects of that, and we can't run away from that. So all these other stuff about their culture and everything else, to me, is of no moment. So I don't even go there, but that's your opinion, and you're free to have it. But I don't know that saying that helps, because that would mean that God has made the country of France, for example, prosper, and they enslaved and oppressed the people. So how does that make sense? All right. So that's just my take. 465-2555 is the number. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, how are you today?
I am well.
All right. I just want to say that the root cause of Haiti's problem is not the black people. It is not the black people. It is not the black people or Haitians. You see, what was it in 2011? Was it 2011, 2010? when the earthquake passed,
Yep.
you see how many persons came together to Haiti. You know the millions that was collected for Haiti. And what happened is that, this came on international news, you know. Of course, we had some unscrupulous persons out there who would set up accounts that had nothing to do with Haiti. Okay? No doubt. But I remember distinctly when one of the more reputable television network, the reporter at that time, made mention of, persons who might use this occasion and set up accounts and, meaning that they are fake because it's not going to go towards Haiti. And the names of the two international organizations was mentioned. And I'm going to mention the name because I'm not lying.
Yes.
I am not lying because I am not the only one who heard it at that time. The Salvation Army and the Red Cross.
Yep, I remember.
People were told to channel their monies to those two organizations. Where is Haiti today? With all of the millions, where is Haiti today? You understand what I'm saying?
Yep, gotcha.
And to me, what I sort of concluded is that maybe there might have been other persons who might have channeled money to Haiti, but I don't think that the intention was for Haiti to benefit. And so it could be, this is how I conclude it, I could be wrong, I could be right, they try to get all of the monies to these two organizations that they control so they can control Haiti still. And I told somebody before everything, Haiti is not going to be any better off. So you see, but anyway, let me leave it like that. Haiti is not going to be any better off. But some people have eyes, they can't see, they read, they don't understand. They have eyes and they don't perceive. Haiti's problem is not like Haiti. You see what is happening right now here in our federation? You see with this, what they call pandemic, and you see how people are threatening to go and take something that they are not even sure about. Where you think that coming from? We are no better than Haiti, you know. When it comes to this kind of what they call leadership, it's just that our situation might be a little better. But you see what is happening right now here? Where do you think that is coming from? Where do you think that is coming from? The root cause is the same, Haiti and Haiti. And finally, sometimes, I don't know, I think we need to find, if we really want to help Haiti, I think we have to find some way of helping, because just mentioning it is not really going to, talking about it has its role. But if we really, really believe that we should help them, we could find some way of getting stuff to them. It may not, you don't have to be building a house or whatever, maybe some food and all of that, I can think, but I think there's a lot that we can learn from them, because they are very rich in a lot of things, the art, culture, and everything. And the kind of image that is portrayed about Haiti. If a lot of us got here, we might be shocked to see the difference, Because when we are told so much negative, bad things about our brothers and sisters in other countries, when you actually got here, it's a difference. And the same ones who brainwashing you against your own, they are the ones who flock into these places. So they're brainwashing you so that you don't go. So they themselves go and take control of everything. I'll stay there.
Okay. Thank you. Carla was referencing the 2010 earthquake. It was a 7.0 magnitude earthquake. Some 300,000 lives were lost. Well, not lost, but some lives. And a lot of them rendered homeless and helpless as a result of that earthquake. So yes, and I do remember the reports from back then. So yes, I mean there are many factors that contribute to where Haiti is today, and the thing is, we must not ignore any of them. You know, just because they may be inconvenient truths, all of it plays a part in where Haiti is today. And the caller talk about having their own people. No, they have had their own people, and things have happened. The Haitians, I keep saying, rose up against the French, you know, who enslaved them, and moved on to the extent that they could. They were pressured to take whatever economic wealth they had and turn it over to the French for years and years after that, because the French pressured them to send that money to them to pay for. I mean, how are you paying for somebody who enslaved you? Pay for their loss, but hey. Let's go. Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
When they were picking up money for the earthquake to Haiti, right?
Yes.
I put it into the can because I don't know who going to get the money.
Okay.
See?
Well.
And they ain't going to donate no money to go nowhere. Then it's not going in the poor people's hands. If I meet them singularly, one by one, two by two, like when they don't send people here from St. Vincent, and I want to give a 20 like you, but me not send no money in no way.
Okay.
Me not send no money no way. Because people them not get the money. So they don't want to change government every minute.
I understand.
Because they got to hold for problem and hold for fight. More people dead, more they fight. Problem. Venezuela got problem again. They say they want the richest place in the hemisphere. With the oil and everything. You know, when a man got all that money, and you can tell me that when they show you, I don't know if it's fake news, but they got something now going to St. Lucia from there. So how you going to people think when your people are in poverty? Just look at China. China give you whole Caribbean, almost the whole world money. And you hear a slavery, they got slavery down there. You understand? They got cutting down that now pay people them. So that the people them won't take it cutting this way, they have no one no cutting from them. A whole economy is going in the world, you know? Because of money, you know, and you can't go to raise money.
Yeah.
You go get bankrupt and bankrupt there. Money no scarce, you know? Money no scarce. Money just come about bankrupt all about whole if a man got $millions of dollars. When people, some people not got none. And that's the problem in the world.
Alright.
And work always on, who get work anytime. Work never there yet, we never hear that.
Okay.
But somebody saying I got money because money got one way. Always all the best way.
Okay. We got time for a final call, or we lost that one. So I guess that's going to do it for us. There is hope for Haiti if the government and people just get things right. It only takes time and some drastic changes. Quickly, caller, your final 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yes, 30 seconds. Why do you think that that detail that was mentioned about Henry Christophe born in April, why isn't that celebrated like how Alexander Hamilton was born in Egypt? That's on us, you know.
Yeah.
We should be making a big issue of that locally. Okay?
Yes.
Okay now.
Hopefully we will. Not too late. All right, and that's going to do it for me today. Thank you all for your comments and suggestions, all your calls and so on. All helpful to the discussion. I hope we learned something today, as always, as we try to do here on Frank and Candid. I am Tony Nass. Well, tomorrow I will not be here, but still listen to Frank and Candid. I'll be back on Monday with much more conversation right here on Frank and Candid.
Whether it's a dress store on 4th Street, a snack in Cayon, or Village Grocery in St. Paul's. Our small businesses play an important role in our economy. By supporting these businesses, you are helping to create or keep a job or two and to revive our economy. Support our local small businesses. Buy local and keep the doors to our small businesses open. This message is brought to you by ZIZ,